the rule requiring only 1/5 of the membership and the ex officio to be present to constitute a quorum. The chair now declares the presence of a quorum. The chair will address the Justice Committee. Today, March 2, we convene the Committee on Justice to discharge a solemn constitutional duty. That is to begin our consideration of 4 impeachment complaints filed against the Vice President of the Republic. Just last week, all 4 complaints were simultaneously referred to this committee. Under the Constitution, it is the exclusive mandate of this committee to hear these matters and by a majority vote of all its members, submit a report to the House. That mandate is not optional. It is not seasonal. It is not subject to fatigue. It is a duty. And constitutional duties do not expire simply because public discourse grows weary. Some have asked, are we not tired of impeachment? Hindi ba tayo napapagod? Admittedly, we have undergone impeachment proceedings against the Vice President last year. And early this year, we also evaluated complaints against the President. So yes, public fatigue may be understandable. But the answer, my dear colleagues, is simple. The Constitution does not get tired. The rule of law does not get tired. Accountability does not get tired. If an impeachment complaint is filed and referred to this committee, we must examine it. There is no option to ignore these complaints. And as I said a while ago, we must fulfill this duty. No condition, no hesitation, walang palusot. Hindi tayo maaaring umiwas. Hindi maaaring umurong. Hindi maaaring magbulag-bulagan. Ang tungkulin ay hindi pinipili. Ito ay ginagampanan. Lalo na ngayong panahon na laganap ang fake news, mas lalo tayong dapat maging maingat at matatag. Mas lalong hindi magpapatinag. Kapag kumakalat ang fake news, hindi sapat ang manahimik. Ang tamang sagot ay wastong proseso. Ang kailangan natin ay simulan itong proseso ng pagsusuri. Nang sa gayon ay magkaroon tayo ng linaw at hindi maligaw sa maling impormasyon. So let me say this clearly. Impeachment is a constitutional process, not a social media contest. Hindi hashtag ang magpapasya dito. Hindi memes ang maghahatol. Hindi ito paramihan ng like. There are claims circulating that these impeachment complaints are merely recycled accusations already dismissed by the Supreme Court. Let us correct that firmly and factually. The Supreme Court did not rule on the merits of the allegations. It did not conduct a trial. It did not weigh evidence. It did not absolve anyone of wrongdoing. The court itself clarified that its ruling was limited to the constitutional one-year bar rule. It emphasized that it did not absolve the Vice President from any of the charges. Those are not my words. Those are the Supreme Court's own clarifications. To suggest, therefore, that the allegations have already been resolved on the merits is legally incorrect. Malinaw sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema na naging pasya nito ay nakatuon lamang sa one-year bar rule. Isang usaping teknikal. Hindi ito paghatol sa nilalaman ng mga reklamo. Hindi ito deklarasyon na walang sala ang Vice Presidente. And let us confront the larger question. If we decline to proceed simply because of Supreme Court's ruling or just because of all the noise, how are we to hold the highest officials of the land accountable? Kung hindi tayo gagalaw ngayon, paano natin pananagutin ang mga pinakamataas na opisyal ng bansa? The Constitution provides only one mechanism for addressing serious allegations against impeachable officials, and that is by way of impeachment. Iyan ang itinakdang proseso. Iyan ang malinaw na landas. There is no alternative forum, no parallel mechanism, no detour, no easy way out. If we refuse to properly examine the impeachment complaints before us, we are not preserving stability. We are weakening accountability. So, my dear colleagues, let us discharge this duty. Walang shortcut. Walang paunang paghuhusga. Tanging katapatan lamang sa saligang batas. Now, 4 impeachment complaints have been filed and simultaneously referred to this committee. The first complaint consists of 43 pages and bears the signatures of 45 complainants, with Francisca Franz Castro listed first. It cites 3 grounds for impeachment, all framed as betrayal of public trust. It was endorsed by Representative Antonio Tino, Representative Sara Jane Ilago, and Representative Rene Luis Co. The second impeachment spans 41 pages, signed by 17 complainants. First among them, Francis Joseph Aquino D. It presents 5 grounds for impeachment, structured as Articles 1 through 5. It was endorsed by Representative Percival Sendanya and Representative Laila De Lima. The third complaint, it runs 98 pages, signed by 13 complainants, with Reverend Father Joel Sabalia appearing first. It alleges 6 grounds for impeachment and was endorsed by Representative Laila De Lima. The fourth impeachment complaint. It consists 72 pages, filed by a single complainant, Attorney Nathaniel Cabrera. It sets out 7 articles of impeachment and was endorsed by Representative Bienvenido Abante Jr. and Deputy Speaker Francisco Paulo Ortega V. Our task now is to discharge our duties, to examine, to scrutinize, and to evaluate these 4 impeachment complaints. Ang tungkulin natin ngayon ay malinaw. Suriin ng patas at may integridad ang bawat reklamo. Today, we begin with sufficiency in form. At this stage, we are not weighing evidence. We are not determining guilt. We are simply asking procedural questions. Are the complaints properly verified? Do they comply with the requirements under the Constitution and the rules of the House on impeachment? Are they properly endorsed? Do they meet the formal thresholds required to proceed? Esteemed colleagues, this requires discipline. We must read thoroughly. We must review carefully. We must ensure that every requirement is met before any complaint moves forward. Ito ay hakbang na tila teknikal, ngunit napakahalaga. Sa bawat dokumentong sinusuri, nakasalalay ang kredibilidad at integridad ng buong proseso. If any of these complaints are found sufficient in form, the committee will then proceed in subsequent hearings to determine sufficiency in substance or whether the allegations constitute impeachable offenses under the Constitution. However, this is important. The allegations must not only be assumed true, they must also be credible on their face. In other words, impeachment cannot be built on rumor. It must stand on allegations that are serious, specific, and constitutionally anchored. For this process, we will proceed methodically. We will proceed transparently. We will proceed fairly. At higit sa lahat, tayo ay kikilos ng naaayon sa saligang batas. We owe that to the complainants whose claims will be scrutinized. We owe that to the Vice President who will have the chance to respond and clear her name. We owe that to the Filipino people who have a right to know the truth, to see justice done, and to hold their leaders accountable. Let me say this clearly. No one is above the Constitution. Not the President. Not the Vice President. Not the Senate. Not the House of Representatives. So today, we begin calmly, carefully, constitutionally. The Committee on Justice is now in session to determine the sufficiency in form of all 4 impeachment complaints versus the Vice President. Let the record show that we proceed not in anger, not in haste, but in fidelity to the Constitution and to the sovereign Filipino people. Maraming salamat po. Before we proceed, we are requesting Honorable Vice Chair to read the ground rules in our today's proceedings. The Honorable Bel Zamora.
Good morning, everyone. Quick reminders lang po. May 39 regular members tayo sa komite. Ang quorum ay 1/5. Ibig sabihin, 8 miyembro ng komite ang kailangan. Ex-officio members, namely the Speaker, Deputy Speakers, Majority at Minority Leaders at Deputies, at ang Chairperson ng Committee on Accounts ay kasama sa bilang may boses at may boto. Kung mayroong miyembro na may gustong sabihin, makipag-ugnayan lang sa Committee Secretary para maisama kayo sa listahan. Salitan ang pagsasalita ng miyembro ng minorya at mayorya at may 5 minuto ang bawat gustong magsalita. Sisikapin natin na unahin ang miyembro ng minorya na susundan ng miyembro ng mayorya sa kanilang pahayag. Kung mayroon lalabis sa 5 minuto, pagbibigyan natin sila sa second round. And finally, please wait for the chair to recognize you before speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Zamora. Now we will proceed to hear the sponsorship speeches of the endorsers of the 4 impeachment complaints. To begin with, for the first impeachment complaint, which we will be referring as Castro impeachment complaint, we're requesting the endorsers, the Honorable Tino, the Honorable Co, and the Honorable Ilago.
Madam Chair, may I proceed?
You may proceed, Honorable Tino.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, mga kinatawan at mga kababayan. Noong July 2022, kakapanalo pa lang ng UNITEAM sa pambansang eleksyon. Bago pa man uminit ang kanyang upuan, humingi na agad si Vice President Sara Duterte ng confidential funds sa Malacanang. Sa kabila ito ng katotohanan ayon sa tradisyon at batas, walang CF, confidential funds, ang Office of the Vice President at lalong walang CF ang Department of Education. Ngunit, dahil panahon pa yon ng UNITEAM, ang alyansang binuo para sa pag-isa ng ticket ng Marcos at Duterte, hinugot ng Pangulo ang 125 million pesos mula sa kanyang discretionary fund, yung tinatawag na contingent fund, para ibigay sa kanyang bise. Noong December 20, 2022, inisyu ng DBM ang cheque sa Office of the Vice President. At sa loob lamang ng 11 araw, sa gitna ng Pasko at Bagong Taon, inulat ng OVP na simot na ang 125 million pesos. 125 milyong piso nilustay sa loob ng 11 araw. Insulto ito sa milyon-milyong Pilipinong nagkukumahog araw-araw para lamang may maihain sa kanilang hapagkainan. Hambog na pananahimik at pag-iwas o asal pusit ang naging tugon ni Vice President Sara Duterte nang usisain ito ni ACT Teachers Representative Franz Castro na ngayon ay complainant na noong 2023 budget deliberations. Ngunit, hindi masusupil ang katotohanan. Ang Commission on Audit mismo ang naglabas ng Notice of Disallowance para sa 73 million na pondo ng CF. At sa pagpapatuloy ng investigasyon ng Kamara, tumambad ang mas malawak na anomalya. Aabot sa 612.5 million ang kabuuang CF o confidential fund ng OVP at DepEd na nakabalot ng duda mula 2022 hanggang 2023. Nakakita tayo ng mga dubious accomplishment reports at mga peking resibo. Sino ang makakalimot kay Mary Grace Piatos? Isang pangalang hindi matatagpuan sa kahit anong record ng gobyerno ngunit ginamit para pirmahan ang paglabas ng pondo ng bayan. Ito ay isang malinaw na panloloko at pambabastos sa proseso ng audit. Batay sa mga ebidensyang ito, maliwanag na dapat ma-impeach si Vice President Sara Duterte sa batayan ng betrayal of public trust dahil sa sumusunod. Una, gross abuse of discretionary powers sa paggamit ng mahigit 612.5 million na pondo. Pangalawa, gross disregard of transparency and accountability sa pamamagitan ng pag-utos sa mga tauhan niya sa OVP at DepEd na gumawa ng mga peking dokumento, accomplishment reports at resibo. At pangatlo, dereliction of official duty dahil sa harap-harapang at paulit-ulit na pagtanggi sa oversight powers ng Kongreso. Sa harap ng mga akusasyong ito, anong naging tugon ng Vice Presidente? Paiba-iba, pabago-bago. Noong una, sinabi niyang ginamit daw ang confidential fund para sa national security at counter-insurgency dahil magkaugnay daw ang national security at education. Nang magbitiw na siya sa gabinete, sinabi niyang ginamit daw ang pondo para imbestigahan ang anomalous laptop deal sa DepEd. Na tagumpay o outstanding accomplishment. Ang tanging markang iniiwan niya sa kanyang unang pagkakataon sa ikalawang pinakamataas na opisina ay ang pinakamalaking anomalya sa confidential funds sa kasaysayan ng bansa. Hindi politika ang paniningil sa 612.5 million na pisong winaldas na pondo. Hindi politika ang paghingi ng hustisya para sa mga guro, estudyante at mamamayan na pinagkaitan ng edukasyon at ibang serbisyo dahil dinala ang poldo sa winaldas na confidential fund. Ang tunay na politika, pamumulitika, ay ang paggamit ng posisyon para protektahan ang sarili mula sa pananagutan. Public office is a public trust. At kapag ang tiwalang yan ay nilapastangan, kapag ang kaban ng bayan ay ginawang personal na piggy bank, wala nang ibang nararapat na hatol kundi ang pagpapatalsik. Kaya dapat siyang ma-impeach. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Honorable Tino. Before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable David J.J.C. Suarez, Honorable Deputy Speaker Virginel G. Biron, Honorable Congressman Emigio B. Tanwatco III from the 2nd District of Rizal, Honorable Congresswoman Janice Digamo from the 3rd District of Negros Oriental, Honorable Congressman John Attorney J.P. Padiernos from GP, galing sa Puso Party List, Honorable Congresswoman Maria Alana Samantha Talino Santos from the 3rd District of Cotabato, and ultimately, Honorable Congressman Robert Nasal from BH Party List. Thank you all for coming. Now we proceed to hear the sponsorship speech for the 2nd impeachment complaint. This is referred to as Francisco Aquino D. et al. Impeachment complaint. Our endorsers, of course, are Honorable Congresswoman De Lima.
Madam Chair.
Where's that? Honorable Reneco.
Madam Chair, may the committee allow the endorsers, this representation, Representative Sara Ilago, to also provide an endorsement speech of the
Alright.
first impeachment
Before we
complaint.
proceed to the 2nd impeachment complaint, we are recognizing the Honorable Co for her impeachment sponsorship speech of the first impeachment complaint. You're recognized, Honorable Co.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay. Madam Chair, mga kapwa ko mambabatas at sa mamamayang Pilipino, isang makatarungang araw po sa ating lahat. Muli tayong naririto ngayon upang talakayin ang isa na namang impeachment complaint mula sa taong bayan. Isang reklamong inihain ng 45 individual mula sa iba't ibang sektor ng ating lipunan para sa impeachment ng pangalawang Pangulong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Hindi na ito bagong usapin. Noong nakaraang kongreso, isa ako sa mahigit 70 na complainant na naghain ng isang reklamo laban kay VP Sara. Sa kasamaang palad, hindi nadinig ang aming impeachment complaint at nahulog na lamang ang usapin ng impeachment sa mga teknikalidad. Kaya hindi na umusad ang proseso hanggang sa ganap na pagpapanagot kay VP Sara Duterte. Ngayon, muli akong nasa inyong harapan. Hindi na bilang complainant, kundi bilang kinatawan ng kabataan at isa sa 3 miyembro ng Kamara na nag-endorso ng panibagong verified impeachment complaint na nagsasaad ng parehong batayan para matanggal si VP Sara sa kanyang pwesto.